Good evening and welcome to Raconteurs News. It's Tuesday evening and I'm afraid Andy Young's voice is away on leave tonight. Sorry for the sounding ropey, folks, but I've got a touch of man flu. Well, I don't know what it is, but working hard with it on Vit C and colloidal silver and anything else I can ram down me to get rid of it. And got a bit of a change tonight because Jason's not with us. He's having a night off. Now, usually it's for the same reason, but tonight, well, it's a bit of a special night, isn't it? It's Hallmark Cards Day. So he hasn't admitted to it, but I think he's taking his pet raccoon out for a romantic dinner. So I hope you enjoy that, Jason, and it'd be good to have you back on the team next week. I was originally going to be joined by Ade, but it seems that Ade's having a few problems with Skype, so he's having to reboot. I'm sure he'll come back and join us in the near future, but I've got a guest on tonight I'm really looking forward to talking to. We actually met him a few weeks back when we went up to Hull to meet Dr. Rock, and we met Doc and we met Kirsty, the organiser, and there's some great people at that meet-up, and one of the people we got introduced to is tonight's guest, and I think he came highly recommended because Kirsty says you need to speak to this man because the Hull's Daily Mail says he's a maniac, and I thought, ooh, sounds good to me. Let's speak to him. What's he all about? And apparently he tried to arrest his MP. The council have got injunctions against him, so I think it's about time we spoke to the man himself. Welcome to Raconteurs News, Colin Worrall.
Thank you.
So what's it all about then, Colin? What is it makes you tick, man?
Oh, crikey. A lot of things do, mate. Like with everything this day and age at the minute we're all going through. A lot of people upset with local councils, local councillors, taking the mickey out of people, basically making the residents' lives miseries. I've got an actual private injunction against me. I'm not legally minded, so
okay.
They couldn't actually put a real injunction on me. It was just a private one because I upset the authorities. Let's say.
So what's the difference between a real injunction and a private one then, Colin? Because I've not come across that.
I haven't got the foggiest. I couldn't tell you.
Basically, so he's probably just all makey-uppy like the rest of this shit they talk about.
Yeah, it seems to be getting that way, yeah. It seems to be getting that because people like me don't know the laws.
Mm-hmm.
The system... I mean, as I found out, most of these solicitors and barristers all work for Hull City Council, which I know they don't all work for Hull City Council, but the majority of them do.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of them are all paid by Hull City Council. So, of course, if you take Hull City Council to court, you're not going to get a fair hearing.
No.
I found this out when I had my local councillor down at my house to supposed to be insulated properly. So I pointed it out, look, you've insulated the walls at the side, you've insulated the loft, but the middle of our houses you haven't touched. So come on, get sorted. It's freezing in here. I made him stand in my living room and he was, oh yeah, it's cold, isn't it? I said, exactly. All our heat and all our money is going out there. So basically, what you're doing is you're costing us more money, but you're saying that you've paid for this to be done, the insulation. So this councillor turned around and said, well, yeah, I'll get your house sorted. So true to his word, yeah. He paid close to £6,000 to get two doors put in and insulated on the middle of my house. So, excellent. My house is sorted. Then I moved on to my boiler. And I said, look, the boiler you've put in is US. it's no good. You know, it's costing us more money than what it is, you know, common sense. So get that changed. Another hoo-ha about that, and finally, that gets my boiler changed. So well done, Hull City Council. You know, I'll pat you on the back. Thank you very much. Then I said, well, what about the rest of the houses on Branzone? Well, we've got 4,000 in my area alone. So the council estates, well, that's going to cost so much money. So, well, hang on a minute. You've had this money before. Warm home grants, etc., etc. So why haven't you done this right in the first place? Then the council had decided, then I found out about £320 million from the KC shares in Hull that went missing, just disappeared. Now then, your voice is gone.
Sorry about that, Colin. I was muted there while you were talking. It's Kingston Communications, the private telephone company that ran the telephone network in Hull, isn't it?
That's correct.
Formerly
so
private.
They sold all the shares.
Yeah.
They sold all the shares. Well, no, the council sold 49% of the shares.
Mm.
So Hull City residents got £320 million. So I'm chasing this money up. Well, where's it been spent? Well, it's been spent here. It's been right. Okay, quite easily. We live in the 21st century. Show me how you spent this money. No. Next, I get 6 visits by the police, separate visits.
Ooh. That seems a bit of a coincidence.
Not really. Not when the coppers are telling me, stop asking questions.
Yeah.
Literally.
Really?
You're harassing your counsellor. Don't talk to him. Leave him alone. I'm like, this is a piss take. It's got to be. It's got to be a joke. Mm-hmm. So, with that, carries on. So, because then I've got I'm like a dog with a bone. Then I'm so like, no, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
There's all these millions and millions and millions that's gone missing. Then you've got the Labour leaders of Hull saying, we're in austerity, we can't afford this, we can't afford to do that. Mm. So I thought, well, I'm getting fed up of this. I'm hearing all this austerity, and yet you lot aren't even keeping a tab of the money you're spending. There's £320 million. That could go a long way. So I decided to stand against them. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, Ade's just joined us on the call now. Welcome back, Ade.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I've just ever since I've updated Skype, it's just destroyed my laptop. So I have been listening on my tablet. So I do.
You haven't missed much, mate.
No, well, I didn't expect that, Colin. Good evening, anyway. Hello.
Cheers, mate. So I decided, right, I'm going to stand as a UKIP councillor.
Okay.
In Hull. I got so much backing. Unbelievable. I actually witnessed on the night the amount of postal fraud that was happening. I reported all this to the police, by the way. Mm-hmm. The money gone missing. The 320 million disappeared, reported to the police. I'd done 2 or 3 statements about it. Then comes to all, I'm sat in Clough Road police station with a detective, and I said, right, look, we need to get an Hull City Council, sort this out. I said, there's a lot of money gone missing here, and no one's accountable for it. Well, and his reply was, tough. I'm like, what? Yeah. I was
sorry, what year was this, Colin?
Don't ask me the years. I've lost all sense of time over the last 2 or 3 years, mate. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'd be 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm basically sat there in the cop shop making the statement and saying, look, we need to get in there to find out where this money's gone, because no one's giving any real proof of the spending of this £320 million. And if that's gone missing, how many other millions has gone missing? And nobody seems to care. And I'm sort of like, this is ridiculous. So that's when I decided to stand as a local councillor. So from there, goes to election night, and unbelievable what I saw. I couldn't believe it. I was just disgusted to the point of just walking out and shouting, this is just corrupt. Every bit of this is corrupt. I'd annihilated my local councillor in my area, and it took, writing this bit down, 6 people, 4 hours to count 6,000 votes, maximum 6,000 votes. So if you got 6,000 pieces of paper and put them out and so I counted them, it took 4 hours for 6 people to count maximum 6,000 ballot papers. It was 2 hours, a late ballot box came out, and then all of a sudden I lost by 58 votes or something, 60 votes.
46.
Oh, thank you, wifey. 46 votes. I'd lost.
Everyone's got a wise woman.
Haven't we all? So I'd lost by that, and I just walked out. I just said, you're just blatantly corrupt.
Hang on, I've been doing a bit of mental arithmetic with those figures, and it's just nuts, isn't it?
It's
if you've got
suicidal.
6,000 votes, 6 people counting them, takes them 4 hours.
Yeah.
So that means one person is taking 4 hours to count 1,000 votes.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got
now, if you said that was pound notes.
If you've got 3,600 seconds in an hour, so that's 12,000.
Don't do the figures; it'll rattle you.
14,400 seconds. So they're counting one vote every 14.4 seconds.
Yeah.
Huh. Pretty
and
swift, aren't they?
That right.
Have you got a calculator there, Andy?
No. No, I'm just kind of good with numbers.
It's disgusting how they've got it set up. That was the first time I stood. The second time I stood, because I thought, well, I'm going to give it a go again. Well, I basically shut Hull UKIP down because they would not do anything to challenge the votes or anything. They just didn't want to know.
Did you stand as a UKIP because that's your political belief, or did you find it was the easiest way to be able to stand for the council?
No, it was the reason why I stood, because I thought, right, I need to stand. I'd actually asked my councillor, I was a Labour, because I'm a Labour man, I've been brought up Labour all my life. I'd actually asked my Labour councillor, look, I want to join, I want to stand, I want to fight for my area. Not realising I was hanging myself to the councillor, because it was his job that I was going to get shafted if I got in.
Yeah.
So he didn't want any of that, so they wouldn't let me in. So I said, all right, I'll go for UKIP. I'll join them. I'll see how it goes. See what happens. See how things work out.
So basically, you went to the Lions Den to ask how you got in, and we got kicked out of it. Basically, so
I was. Yeah. That's not brandy. I don't know if you mix them two together and you get brandy. You've muted yourself.
Just showing you we've got a choice of red pills or blue pills. I'm on the red ones.
Right.
But they're only Strepsils, none of that pharmaceutical bullshit.
Does that bring you back to reality, or is it the blue one that does that?
Past caring, mate. Just get on with it.
That's his herbal tea. So we end up where Colin's standing for UKIP. It's the second time. Where does it go there, Colin?
What happened was UKIP decided we don't want Colin Worrall in UKIP no more because I upset Hookup I upset Collins, and I upset Speakman. All three of them had bullied a lass, a counsellor, where she wasn't able to drive home on the night. And once I had wind of it, I was going ballistic, because this lass actually come to Hull to help us out on the first night, because we didn't know what was doing. We was just having a jolly. And because of that, them three, the three stooges I call them, Muckham and Collins and Speakman, the ones that are actually running Hull UKIP now, they was right upset. So they basically decided to make sure I got banned for life from UKIP. So, fine, no worries, no skin off my nose. You know, I'm sort of like, I'll just go join another party, which I did. Joined this one called Yorkshire First. So, same thing. There you go, votes for me. Gets to election nights, and I put my ballot papers onto the table, and my head on my ballot papers have been cut off.
Unreal.
10 hours, nobody realised.
Yeah, in 12 hours, isn't it? In 12 hours, not one person, not one staff member, nothing on Branshome realised that my head had been cut off my ballot papers. And they said the area, because really...
Oh, sorry, Colin, sorry, you mean the picture of your face?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Do you remember just before the election? I don't know if you'll know about this, but just before Hull's election, so going back 2 years, I think, Peter Levy got Ian Anderson onto the telly, and he said, Carl Turner, another Preston Road councillor, had all had problems with the ballot papers. That something had happened and their names hadn't gone out or something on the ballot papers. So Ian Anderson was on the telly and Levy was questioning him like, and he said, "Oh well, what happened again? You know, there's been a mistake. Everything will go through, no problems." Well, on election night, 2 weeks later, my head off the ballot papers was cut off. What? Well, my name, yeah.
Just to clarify, for anyone who doesn't know who Peter Levy is, he's the orange bloke who does the local news on ITV up your way, isn't he?
BBC.
Oh, BBC, yeah. Sorry, it's that long since I watched the bloody telly, I forget.
Ian Anderson, is he the guy who stands on one leg and plays a fiddle?
Oh, Christ, I don't think he stands on one leg at all. I think he floats around.
That was Jethro Tull.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Jethro Tull. Maybe I've got the name wrong.
I think you have, because you'd know this guy is he's getting paid for something he shouldn't be. He's basically getting paid to make sure the Labour councillors in Hull make sure that they get voted in. Simple as that. Because on the first election, going back to the UKIP election, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 people got fiddled out. So 8 people never got in because of man was the votes. Another one was they wouldn't give them a second recount. They just closed the table straight away. And down the line and down the line and down the line. Everyone just got robbed, just ripped off, totally annihilated.
Did it actually cost you money to stand, or was that the party that...
Yeah, it cost you money. Well, it costs you money in advertising, your leaflets, your time, your banners that you get, but it doesn't actually cost you to stand as a local councillor. If you want to stand as an MP, it costs you £500.
Yeah.
So that's the only cost there is to that. But again, when you add it up, it's not all about that. It's about your time.
Yeah, of course.
Trying to do this, the state army trying to do it, well, it just annihilated me, leafleting and stuff like that. It just totally creased me up. It annihilated the wife, because we wanted to sort of make sure that I did give it the best attempts I got. And the support I got, if it hadn't been fiddled, I reckon it'd been that embarrassing for Labour councillors in Hull. It just whitewashed. I just whitewashed a full lot of them. In fact, there was another one, the actual guy who got voted in UKIP, Richard Barrett. Now, there's a law. There's a few laws, obviously. But this is a law that any ballot papers that get tampered with is illegal.
Yeah.
350 of his ballot papers got moved. Now, he still won, but the only reason why he won is because this last Steph Todd, she actually pointed out, well, why has them 350 ballot papers been moved to have her to that table? This, like I say, we're green as grass. You know what I mean? We're sort of like honest, if I lose, I lose.
Yeah, you were going in there as the uneducated and being trampled on by those who knew how to.
Yeah, and basically it was disgusting. And these are people that live in our areas. They live in between us, your friends, your relatives, your neighbours. Because whoever works for council has a hand in this. Well, Hull City Council, anyhow. Whoever actually works there, it isn't actually Hull City Council. It's happening all over the country, I feel.
Yeah.
I think it is, because you go to a Conservative place, it's only Conservatives that win. You go to Labour, it's only Labour that win. And yet, we annihilated them. We absolutely took them to the bloody cleaners. They was not impressed, put it that way. On the second election, when they cut me ballot paper name off, their excuse was, well, you wouldn't have won that anyhow, because in that area, only 70-odd people voted for you. So, basically, you've lost. See you later.
But surely that's the voters' decision, not theirs.
Yeah, it is, but they're in that much of a... you go back 20, 30 years when they had 30, 40,000 people voting. That's been wiped out. It's 10% of what was actually voting from 20 years ago to now. No, not 10%, about 30 or 40%. Because people have discerned that much of how much it is fiddled. It's not worth doing it. Because, you hear it all the time. No point voting because it's all decided anyhow. It is. The staff actually decide who they're going to let win. It's as simple as that. It's not down to you or I or anyone else who goes out and votes. It's actually down to the staff on that night who they're going to let in. And it's that disgusting. You're sort of like, this can't be real. But it is.
Are the staff, Colin, are the staff paid or are they...
Yeah, they're all paid. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're all paid.
So is it actually the council staff who sort of during the day, they're secretaries at the town hall or whatever, and they're the one... Right, okay.
Yeah, it's them. They're sort of like, oh, would you like to do the postal votes? The postal vote was horrendous.
That's completely open to corruption, isn't it?
Well, the full lot is. Not just that. Every bit of it is, from start to finish. I was driving to town one day with a wife, and I said, right, I'm going to show you a place where I'm going to be working. Proud as shit. Proud. I shouldn't swear. Proud. I was the proudest man walking with my wife. Come on, love, I'm going to show you. When I win, this is where I'm going to be working, and I'm going to sort this out, because this is ridiculous. People should not be living in freezing cold houses. People that work are just getting basically more rapes than anything else now. And it's dog eat dog. And it shouldn't be like that. We're in the 21st century. So I'm proud. And I said to her, right, if you see out that you don't feel looks right, let me know. What? Like she said, well, I don't know what I'm going to be bloody looking for. I said, no, you just sit there looking pretty, and if you see something you don't like, let me know. Well, something does happen. So I'm concentrating on this thing that was happening with this postal vote, and it was quite obvious that these postal votes that I was trying to put through was sorry about the cough. Was basically they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You went over to Reese's table.
Yeah.
And then when you came back,
I
noticed that.
So when I noticed this, and I'm coming back to my table, wifey comes back to me and says, "That lass that's doing your counting, yeah. Well, she's just on the way back. She's done yours." I said, "No, she can't have done." So Colin's there on the way back, and I said, "Have you done my postal votes?" "Yeah." "Right. Is there any chance you can do them again?" And I mean nice as pie, politely, everything, because if you say anything to these people, they're cry wolf quicker than you can drop your pants.
Yeah.
She basically said, no, I've done it once, I ain't doing it again. Well, look, love, you know, I haven't seen them, and I'd like them checking, you know, just for my benefit, nothing else. No, I don't have to. Go away, you're nothing to do with it. You can go away. Well, with that, my head just blows. You corrupt pieces of shite. And I'm shouting this at the top of my voice. I'm absolutely, you're all corrupt. Every single one of you in here is just corrupt. It's just ridiculous. Well, with that, Ian Anderson comes down. And I'd had a meeting with this guy an hour before. Look, Ian, you aren't going to fiddle this election, are you? No. You know, you're going to do it by the book, aren't you, Ian? Yeah. Well, I don't fiddle. Whatever. It's going to be done properly, isn't it, Ian? Yeah. I just, honest, yes, what happened, honestly. An hour later, he's down, because I'm bawling my head off. And there's about 50 people about, and I'm telling each and every one of them, you're all corrupt. What you're doing is disgusting. The people are expecting you to be honest. You know, that's what you're getting paid for. Security grabbed hold of my arm, so I asked him politely not to get off. And I'm quite a stocky fella, so, you know, there's no problems there.
I can't think we didn't notice that, Colin, honestly.
Only by my head. So with that, he lets go, and I'm escorted out the building. And I'm just, this is disgusting, it's ridiculous. And stuff like that is actually happening. And these people, I've seen them about in Hull. I've seen them about, and I've seen where they live and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, why are you doing this to normal people? Why are you actually involved in a corruption that you could quite easily say, I have no part of this? Because I bloody would. So that was my second time with Yorkshire First. All of a sudden, they didn't want to know me. So they banned me. I've been banned. Right, get this. It's a lovely list. I've been banned from every residents' meeting in Hull. Residents' meeting. Any. I've been banned from Hull Daily Mail. I'm banned from Radio Humberside. I'm banned from BBC Radio Look North. I'm banned from Calendar. I'm banned from what's the others? That's it mainly. Any main news outlet, I'm banned.
What about Viking?
Yeah, banned.
Oh, I mentioned that because Ade used to work for them, with them.
Yeah.
Long time ago when I was there. Long time ago.
All that has stopped. Angus Young, Hull Daily Mail.
Yeah.
Now he's the biggest not nice person going, and I can't think of a word to actually call him because he's blatantly lied.
Angus Young, isn't he the one with the school uniform?
Oh, I don't know.
ACDC.
Then.
I don't know. Ian Anderson, and now we've got Angus Young. Is this not Fairy tale just made of pop stars.
Yeah.
It's when you get to Bon Jovi. Which side are we on?
Is he the mayor?
Yeah, literally. Well, he's actually wrote a book as Angus Young on corruption in Hull.
What is it like?
Honestly, you can't make this up.
Is it like an operator's manual?
No, I think it's an insight into how to for the staff.
Cool. Well, you
this guy from Hull Daily Mail has basically seen what's going on, and he's written this book.
No, he's wrote this book a while back.
Right.
He's wrote this book a while back about corruption in Hull or something. I hadn't read it because I don't really give the guy any of my time anymore. I thought he was an honest guy, but he's like the rest of them, just told what to do and get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm banned from all council meetings as well. Anything to do with council, I'm banned from. At the minute. Ends in March, I think. So, after my second election defeat, and it was a defeat, I basically said, right, I've had enough. I had a bit of time off to get my bearings. Then I got back onto the money trail, now forgive me on this, because I might be wrong here. I've either put in 7 or 8 FOIs for the finding of the £320 million over 8 years. It's either 6 or 7 FOI. I've lost count.
Yeah.
Because I've just totally FOI'd the hell out of them. And they can't prove where the money's gone. They can't prove it at all. With the 8 visits from the police to tell me to stop looking for the money. It's nothing to do with me. Why am I looking for it?
Well, surely anybody who lives in the whole area has got the right to ask the question.
First off, my name's Colin, not Shirley. So we'll get that one done first.
The old ones are the best, Colin.
Sorry, oldest gag in the world. Bump, yeah.
No, it's all... no, it's all to underhand. The chief exec is just left for the second or third time. He's retired from Hull City Council. Lovely pension he's got. All 3 of them. All 3 pensions he's got from Hull City Council public funds. He was trying to get the boat to come to Hull. Do you remember that warship, the battle cruiser that was trying to get to Hull a few years ago?
I vaguely remember something about that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he paid his own company £50,000 for the consultancy of it.
What? Oh. That's a nice job if you can get it, Colin. We've got a question. I told you we get some questions. Mostly, so far, it's just been comments of how much the listeners love you and how real you are, straight up, no bullshit. But you mentioned FOI request there, and Patrick is just asking FOI. Is that short for fuck off idiots?
I think they called me the same.
Can I just say that Colin's not upstanding right now? He's laid flat on his back on the sofa.
I had been upstanding for quite a while.
Well, I had this discussion last time we had Paul Webster on, you know, and for people to kind of become involved in this, there's usually a turning point. And with most of the people that I meet, the turning point is quite often buggering up their back. It was for me. Paul Webster, it was a different medical thing. But there's so many of the people I work with, they're like, oh shit, yeah, you've got the same problem as me. You know, even a friend we've made over in Canada, he's got virtually the same spinal injury as me. It's just really quite strange, but that hitting rock bottom seems to spark people. Did that happen with you at all, Colin? Did you?
I wouldn't say that, but there again, I would, as on the double-edged sword. I'm riddled with arthritis. That's my problem.
Yeah.
So I'm riddled from head to toe with it. Basically, that knackered up my lorry driving career. I did 2 runs to Saudi Arabia from London. So London all the way to Saudi Arabia twice. Wow. So I reached the top of my profession until about 10 years ago when a counsellor approached me. Yeah, excuse me. Can we go for a break for about 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. We're coming up to break time anyway. We'll put a tune on and we'll have one from James J. Turner, Heart of Gold. I thought this would be really appropriate for you. We'll be back in about 4 minutes, folks.
I'm just going to mute you while I go bog.
No worries. I just need to find the tune. There it is. Right, back shortly, folks.
Hi, I'm Andrew K. Fletcher, originator of incline bed therapy, talking to you on Raconteur News.
And welcome back to Raconteurs News. Hope you enjoyed that from, I believe that singer's from Hull. He lives in Hull now. I think he's a Scouse by origin. Have you come across him at all, Colin?
No, I'd love to meet the chap, I tell you.
Well, if you want to meet him, might be difficult with your back, but we're going to a Beltane festival at Mablethorpe, just about 40 miles south of the river, and he's going to be singing there on the Saturday night. So that's the May Day weekend. So...
but unfortunately, that's a bit on my...
Yeah, we're not doing the camping business. We're staying in a nearby B&B. We're cheating a bit, but really looking forward to meeting the guy, because the lyrics of that song seems to show he's a pretty wide-awake geezer, and I think he might be a potential guest on the show. But I don't know if you noticed, after that, I played little voice ident there from Andrew K. Fletcher. Now... when you mentioned earlier you got spinal problems, I thought I need to mention this guy to you, and I mention him to everybody who's got that sort of problem because he's come up with inclined bed therapy, as he said there. Have you heard of that at all, Colin?
No, first one I've heard.
Right. I tried it about 18 months ago, and I was, I got my back problem, but I was having trouble with sciatica. Got trapped nerve, left leg, agony. I did it for about 10 years. Some people get sciatica, it goes away. I followed Andrew's instructions, and all you do is raise the head end of your bed by 6 inches. So you're sleeping at a slight downhill angle, and I got up the next morning and I thought, there's something wrong. And my sciatica had gone. But not only that, the biggest thing for me, ever since I've been a teenager, really, I've always woke up tired. Doesn't matter if I sleep 2 hours or 12, always wake up tired. And when I started doing that, I felt really weird in the morning because I was waking up with energy. Jason, who normally does the show with me, he said to a guest a couple of weeks ago, he said a year ago, I just had a heart attack and I was a walking corpse. I raised my bed and it saved me life and given me a new life back. So, you know, if you're short of something to prop it up with, Andrew always recommends you use old medical books because they all need rewriting now.
They're all knackered anyway, aren't they?
That's it, yeah.
I did mine, and I went round the back of the garage and there was 2 bricks. So I literally cleaned 2 bricks up with a wire brush in the garage, put them under the head end of my bed, and I took the feet, which stand probably about an inch and a bit, off the bottom end of the bed. And that's how much it is inclined bed therapy. Yeah. It's a lump of wood, it's a book, it's whatever, 6 inches head end. And just like Andy's just said, I've always been a zombie in the morning, 20 cups of coffee and a kick up the arse before I can even get out of bed. But not anymore. And I did mine probably 8 months ago.
Oh, man, mine's a tad different with it being arthritis because mine's a bone disease. It's all crumbling, so I've lost an inch and 8 over my years, so it's a bit different for me.
Well, I was 6'2". I was 6'2" when I left school, Colin. I'm now, about 5'9"? Because I fell off a house and landed on my tailbone when I was about 19.
Crikey.
Yeah. But,
Colin, can I just ask something about the councillors in Hull? I know Hull reasonably well.
Yeah.
It is a long time since I spent any length of time there, a long time. And when I was up in Hull, Bransholme...
It's froze.
Well, was it the biggest council estate in Europe or something? It was something like that when it was built. I mean, it's an absolutely huge estate.
Yeah.
It was, like you said, in the 70s, 80s, the biggest council estate in Europe at one point.
Yeah, so when you would, I mean, obviously they built this thing pretty quick.
Yeah, it was slung up.
Yeah, so you were there dealing with a house that was cold and knackered boilers after.
Well, I've been here all my life.
Right.
All my life I've lived round here, near enough round here. My mum lived in the same house nearly 40 years. Well, no, over 40 years, 45 years.
So basically, there you are, a local lad.
Yeah.
As green as grass.
Yeah.
Stood for the council, two different political parties, and a load of arguments later.
Yeah.
The people who were actually elected, in brackets, elected councillors, whereabouts in Hull do they live?
Good question. One of our councillors lived Princess Avenue.
Yeah.
The other one lives on Belfield Ave, which is the same type of houses. That's in my area alone. So they're scattered all over. They're supposed to be in the same area, supposedly, but there's that many changes and fiddles going on that it's just horrendous. Up to now, I've worked it out that over 20,000 council houses. Up to 20,000 council houses in Hull alone has been demolished and sold off. The land sold off privately. That's in Hull alone.
Wow.
It's absolutely... So that's not just houses, that's flats, that's masonettes, that's blocks of flats, that's houses, flats, etc. 20,000 council up to nearly 20,000 council properties have been demolished and the land sold on, giving other councillors pegs, I think they call it, backhanders, so they say.
Yeah.
But that's not proved, is it?
Do any of these councillors who are supposed to represent the people of Bransholme, do they live in the... Right.
No, they don't even represent the people. You'll see the odd clip in the old Daily Mail of, councillors, council... Basically, the council of Bransholme, what they've done is they've give everything away to North Bransholme.
Right.
So North Bransholme councillors run Bransholme. So they're just merging everything now. That they'd split North Bransholme and Noddle. They both went together. Then Bransholme West was on its own, which was Bransholme and Bute Park. Then Dorchester, which has always been Bransholme, is classed as Sutton.
Right.
It's split. Absolutely stupid. So the people on a place called Dorchester Road think they even say it. We're from Bransholme. We're Bransholme. No. Politically, you're classed as Sutton. And it's absolutely ridiculous how they're doing it. But that's politics to them.
Well, didn't they used to call it gerrymandering, where they move the electoral boundaries like that just so they get what they want?
I don't know. They're just changing it now, and they'll be losing 3 councillors. Well, I think there's 60 councillors, or near enough 60 councillors of Hull. I think it could literally get rid of 59 of them and just have the one councillor of Hull. get rid of the 3 MPs of Hull and just have 1 MP of Hull, because none of them, not one, do anything for the people. Not one. They say they do. They say they've done this, that and the other. There has been one councillor that's actually done something, and that was the guy who did the deed, and he got voted out.
Did he find out where 320 million had gone?
No, none of them know that question. None of them know that answer.
So, Colin, you've stood for these 2 political parties and been kicked out, banned from everywhere.
Yeah.
I was just going to say what's next for Colin Worrall, but I'm not. What I'm going to say is,
please,
what other stuff can you tell us? Because I mean, you've mentioned you're banned from council meetings. You're banned from residents' meetings, Hull Daily Mail, and all the rest of them. Are there any interesting stories with any sort of individual ones of those of how you came to be banned? Or did somebody in the council ring all these people up and said, for God's sake, don't let Colin Worrall in, he's a right trouble causer? In the Old Daily Mail, Ian Anderson has stated it. Colin Worrall is the most dangerous man in Hull politics. He attempted, this is what Old Daily Mail states, he attempted to break into Carl Turner's MP's house, which I never did. I stood outside the MP's house and I said, look, we need to go to the cop shop to sort this money out. I said, £320 million, they can't explain where it's gone. Come to the cop shop. Basically, mate, I'm arresting you. With that, his face went purple and he shouted at me 4 times to F off. And I mean, shouted. I looked at him and I just thought, I'm not going to get anywhere here, so I'm leaving. So I just walked away from his house. And his neighbour come up to me and said, was that Carl? So I said, yeah, I think I've upset him, and drove off. Next minute, 12 hours later, I had flying squad at my house. Wow.
Yeah.
Because you'd threatened to arrest an MP?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they wanted to save me with an order. So I said, right, you're telling me that I cannot go and talk to my MP or councillors. I said, I'm not having this anymore. I'm not accepting your order. And they actually turned around and said, well, actually, yeah, you're right, and walked away. I was like, thank God for that. I've had unbelievable amounts with them. I mean, Old Daily Mail's been the worst. They rang me up and said, would you like to make a comment? So I said, well, what's gone on? Well, apparently you was at Carl Turner's house. I said, yeah, that's correct. I was at his house. Right. Can you elaborate? No. You tell me what you know, and I'll accept it or deny it. Well, with that, the phone gets put down. Next minute, well, not next minute, a few hours later, our lass said, I need to go to Asda for some bits and bobs. Said, all right, love, come on then. Walks in Asda. Whoa, 7 gorgeous-looking fellas looking straight back at me. It was my face on the front page of Old Daily Mail, right across Asda's newsstand. My ass fell out, to tell you the truth, but I was so like, I couldn't believe it. And then when I read it, it was so like, this guy had broke in and I hadn't, so when I rang Old Daily Mail up and said, look, you've lied here, what you put is totally fictional.
Sorry, Colin, just go back. So you knocked on his door and he'd opened it, and yet their report said that you'd broken into his home?
Yeah. Yeah, basically I broke into his home at their estate.
Bit of a difference.
There's hell of a frigging difference. One, I'm not a burglar. Yeah. Two, I'm too fat and too slow to be a burglar, I think. So when I rang on Daily Mail up, queried it, they turned around and said, well, we haven't actually said you've done it. So I said, yes, you have. So they said, no. We put a man burst into Carl Turner's house. I said, but my face for the past 2 days has been on the front page of Old Daily Mail. you're saying that I've done this? No, no, no. We said a man's done it. And I just thought, like, you're pathetic. You're totally pathetic. Well, what, 3, 4, 5, 6 days later I was in court to receive this private injunction.
A private injunction?
A private injunction.
Okay.
So they slapped me with a private injunction for a year to leave them alone.
This is Hull Daily Mail?
Huh?
This is Hull Daily Mail?
No, this is the MPs of Hull.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, the MP of Hull took me to court. Well, he never actually took me to court. Ian Anderson did. But Ian Anderson wasn't at court. It was another guy, solicitor. And what they tried to do, on the first court summons that I'd received, not summons, the paperwork you get from court when you've been to court to say what you can and can't do. When I was outside the court, before going in, the guy said to me, I said to the guy, look, you know, because he put down, right, you've got to stay away from all councillors, all council buildings, blah, 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 all council staff. And I said, no, you can't do that. I said, my doctors. I said, that's in a council building. I said, I'll tell you what I'll accept. I'll accept keep away from Hull City Council staff in Hull City Council Hall, in the Guildhall. I said, fine, put the 3 MPs down and put the stupid councillors down, because at the end of the day, if they don't want to talk to one of their residents about the problems that they say, if you have problems with us, please get in touch. Here's my number. Here's my address. Each and every one of these councillors and MPs, by the way, has given me, in time, the cards with the name on it, the name, the telephone number. Have we all froze, have we?
No, we're okay.
Are we all right? The name,
yeah,
the telephone
Skype
number.
does that sometimes, Colin, don't it?
All right. The name, the telephone number, their email address, their house address, their mobile number. Each and every one's given me a card with the numbers on it, saying, if you've got a problem, get in touch. And when you do, it's just like the Roadrunner cartoon.
Yeah. So really, they want you to feel that you're part of the family when they want you to put your cross in their box. But when you actually ring them and say, excuse me, where's 320 million quid gone, you corrupt bunch of people?
They don't like it.
They don't like it, especially when you go knock on the door and ask them.
Yeah. You're harassing them then.
I've got an interesting question for you, Colin. It's just occurred to me, you're banned from contacting these MPs and councillors and all that. But when they want your moniker or your little cross in their box, do they come knocking on your door?
No, they're frightened to death. They're frightened to death in my area. They won't come near it now. They're just scared to death of being accosted by me. I think that's the right word, accosted.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a total farce. Every bit of it's a farce, because when you challenge these people, they're just on a different planet.
Oh,
you're on a different planet.
You're going to love this one, Colin. I've just posted the link to the Hull Daily Mail article in the chat room, and Patrick said, how could you be scared of that? He looks like Benny from Crossroads. Only joking, Colin.
The Hull Daily Mail actually went onto my onto my Facebook page and took that from my photos. Everything Hull Daily Mail's done has been illegal. There's a guy that got in touch with me. I don't know if you've heard of him. A guy called George Gretton.
I've heard the name, yeah.
Right, he's a private investigator. Okay. Last year before Christmas, he asked me to come down to London. He said, look, I'll pay everything. Just get your ass down here. We're going to Magistrates Court.
Uh-huh.
Excellent, no problem, mate. I'll be there. So, turns up, and the courts boot me out. The Magistrate Court says, right, because his name's involved, we want him out of here. So I gets booted out of Magistrates Court, and I waits for this George Gretton to come back out, and it's a good few hours later, and the magistrate turned round to George Gretton and said, Mr. Worrall seems to be a trouble causer. Right, what have I done? All I've done is ask a question. What's happened to public fund money? You try it. You try it with your councillors. You try it with your MPs. And I tell you what, you'll be shocked at the response you get. Because they sling you with, first you have to put in the FOIs. Then you have to do other FOIs. I got told after the second or third FOI, that FOI didn't work because of the way you write. And hand on that, you know what I mean? I'm not a fantastic writer. In fact, it's bloody awful. But like I turned around and said, well, how many other ways can you ask what's happened to £320 million of the public's money?
Yeah.
And these people are totally oblivious to the questions they're getting asked. They're not oblivious. They're totally...
They find legalese ways of ignoring it. I remember when Bill Clinton was stood in court, and they said, is it true that... And his answer was, that depends on what the definition of the word is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's basically the sort of thing they're doing. They're avoiding, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, but if this was you or I doing this, we'd go straight to jail. There's no messing about. The double standards is getting ridiculous now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you or I stole £320 million, the cops would be...
I'd be, yeah.
The cops would be quite interested in that, we'd think, anyway.
Well, put it this way. Look at there was one person in the paper not long back, fiddled the social.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was, I don't know the ins and outs, but as I'm so like now with papers and etc., I'm like, I don't believe any of it now. So anyhow, this person that fiddled social of, say, £10,000 altogether with their housing stuff and all this, that and the other. They went to jail. They didn't. So God knows what's going to happen to them when the shit really hits a fan and I do get voted in. If I get voted in.
Colin, one thing I wanted to ask you about that. Just before you tell us, when you're going to stand next and who is it going to be with. The local people around you, the people of Branzone, they've obviously seen your mug all over the whole Daily Mail.
Yeah.
You've had quite a lot of exposure, and there's obviously quite a lot of them know that the question that you're asking is, where has £320 million gone?
I'm not the only person to ask it.
If you've got good people like yourself who are interested in the answer to that, and then we've got councillors who just don't want to let Colin Worrall through the door, but you've got people behind you. What sort of way forward have you got? I mean, have you got enough?
Right. Just stop there.
Where are we going with this?
This is how I've worked it out. If I get a few people behind me, all of a sudden it's a lynch mob. All of a sudden we're getting bullied. All of a sudden he's threatening us and all this and the other shit that they all come out with. Me on my own, they can't say any of that.
Yeah.
They can't say not one bit of it, and that's why I stick on my own and say like, I don't care, me, I'm sorry. You lot of thieves, you lot of cheats, you lot of fiddlers. I'm honest as the day's long now. I can't lose. My head's going to swell a bit, but so it should. I think I deserve it. In my area, I'm classed as a counsellor. People actually think I'm a counsellor. So there's a guy called Sir J. Singh, Jackpot News, Chamberlain Road. He thinks I'm a god. He thinks I'm the world's best because he's seen all this fiddling, and he's like me. He's so like, well, why are these adults doing this? And they're adults. They're adults. They're not kids. They're not lost their marbles. These are very well intelligent, supposedly intelligent people. Yet a guy like me, normal Joe, normal ordinary off council estate, same as some of your listeners, hopefully, has just stood up and said, I'll stand against you. And that's the bit that's going to bring it all down. That's the bit they're terrified about. If you two just go to your local, you don't have to go to your local office. Just join a party, see how things work out. And once you've done that and you see how they actually are and how they actually act, 1, you're disgusted, 2, you're bemused, and 3, you just think, this can't carry on.
You know, what about calling your own? What about having your own independent party called?
I know.
What the fuck happened to 320 million quid?
No, it's called BIP.
BIP.
Random Independence Party. Because the money's the forefront of it all. The money's the forefront of it all, and I've embarrassed them that much about the money, to the extent where they've personally attacked me. They've hounded me. They've hassled me. They've done everything. And every single thing has backfired on them. Because so many people now are so like asking questions. Well, all right, where has that money gone? Yeah. But I'm not the only person to ask that money about this money. This money's disappeared over 10, 11, 12 years ago now. Now the Solid tried to bring it in. Well, it's over this time frame. No, we're in the 21st century, mate. Everything's electronic now. Yeah, I can prove to you where that money's gone. Just let me into the bank details. Well, we lost 50 million in the Icelandic bank. Well, excellent. If we've lost 50 million in the Icelandic bank, show me the proof. Everything they've hit me with, I've returned it back to them, and that's why now they're trying to discredit anything I do. Keep him out of the way, keep him out of the papers, keep him off the radio. Just fine.
Yeah. The Icelandic thing that you mentioned, Colin, what I always got from that was this word budget. Oh, we haven't got the budget for that, and we haven't got the budget for that.
So how did you manage to budget fucking 50 million? Well, sorry, pardon my French.
No, it's fine, mate. Listen, if I go and book a holiday, I might have a budget of 600 quid.
Yeah.
I might have a budget of 200 quid.
Yeah.
It don't mean that that's all the money on God's earth that I've got.
No.
And yet all we ever hear is, it's beyond the budget, we haven't got the budget for this. And then when the Icelandic thing happened, when supposedly all this money got lost...
A lot of councils lost a lot of money.
You mean we didn't have any... Yeah, what do you mean you had money in that? I thought you didn't have any budget. Well, yeah but that money wasn't part of the budget. That was other money.
Every single one of them, you start delving into them, the close ranks. Hull Labour, as I joined Hull Labour, sent off the forms, and they accepted me. Till they found out who I was. Yeah. And I got a lovely email from the solicitors of Hull Labour saying, "You're not a member." I'm so like, you're that frightened of me. They're just terrified. It's not just me. Ordinary people need to start doing this. They need to start standing in the local councils. They need to start realising that Hull City Council gets £800 million every year. 400 million is off the residents of Hull, and 400 million is from the government. No one knows where any of this money goes.
No.
Mm-hmm. No one. And you sit and talk to you clever people. And I'm putting it in brackets, clever people. They're not frigging clever. They're just crooks. They're just bullies. They're just thieves. Yeah. And that's all they understand. And they don't understand You can't go up to them and talk to them. They don't want to know. You try it. Try it yourselves. And you will find out how pathetic, how disgusting, and how we're paying these people's wages. And these people are our friends. These people work in the council. These people, we know them. And that's where they're the same as us. Why are they doing this to us? And that's the questions we need to ask.
Mm. Well, talking of questions, we've got loads of comments and a few questions from the chat room. We've got Doc Rock is saying he's in Powys, I believe.
Street Club, wasn't he?
Sorry?
Doc Rock was at Walton Street Club, wasn't he?
That's right, yeah, same Doc. Yeah, he does a show on our autonomous media on a Thursday night. And he's saying that Powys has unusable reserves worth 300 million quid. Thank feck we're not in Hull, they'd have lost it all by now. And he's also saying, give this man his own show.
They would have done. Hull City Council are a disgrace to the residents. And they all know about it. Not one of them now. Because this has gone on over 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And over 6 years I've been telling them, you're corrupt.
Yeah.
You're not doing this right. Why are you selling off houses? Why demolishing council houses, not replacing them? Yeah, money. Yeah, same answer every time. You get when they demolished Orchard Park flats, 3 blocks of flats that if they'd have invested in putting the money into doing them up, which maybe it'd have been, I don't know exact figures, maybe it'd have been, say, 2 million. I know it'd been more than that, but let's just say £2 million to invest in these flats. That's, what is it, 50, 100 flats in there?
Okay.
In one block?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah. Just wiped off, and they put 20 houses there. And sold the land on. So basically what they're doing is demolishing the council houses, selling the land on, not replacing the council houses, because that's against the law, apparently. What? Who's making these sodding laws up?
Mm. It's the same old story you hear everywhere. We have got an interesting question from Doc as well. Does Colin pay his council tax?
Yes.
Fair enough, mate.
Yeah. The reason why I pay it is because Hull City Council are gunning for me as it is.
Yeah.
So if I don't pay it, I'm going to be locked up as I'm sort of like saying, look, all right, I'm taking you on your word here, Hull City Council, and you say you need this council tax off me. That's fine, no problem. I'll pay my council tax. So when I need stuff emptying, I get it emptied. But that didn't happen because I actually stopped the bins. They didn't empty my bins, so I stopped the wagon on the first week. And I said, right, you haven't emptied my bins. No, it's contaminated. What do you mean contaminated? What's this about, lads? Come on. Well, your bin's contaminated, so we can't empty it. I said, I'll tell you what, that wagon ain't going nowhere until my bin gets emptied. An hour later, a manager comes out, my bin gets emptied. Then the second time they did it. So, again, this is down my street, down Newlyn Close. So the second time it happens, I drives my car out, parks it up, stops the wagon again, has a word with the lads, what's going on? Well, it's just, there was a bit stuff in it, so it was get me sodding bin emptied. With that, the driver was instructed that he had to. We've gone on that one. The driver.
All right, Colin. I think Andy's just cut the video feed just to allow some bandwidth. That's all.
Right. The driver was instructed to call the police, just in case. Have you both gone?
Yeah.
No. We're still here, Colin. Okay.
Yeah, Skype broke up a bit there. If we knock the video off, it sometimes helps that. That's all, Colin.
Right. So the driver was instructed to call the police. So I said, I don't give a shit who comes, you're emptying my bin. So you better get the manager out here now. So this is the second time, don't forget. This was in a month. So with that, an hour later, manager turns up, what's happening? I told him, I said, you empty my bin. Well, they're saying this, that. I said, I don't care. I don't give a rat's ass. I said, I'll tell you what, there's a recycling centre over there in Hull that you lot are supposed to recycle, go through our rubbish and sort it out at your end. I said, I'm doing my bit here to recycle. I said, so if something gets put in or someone else puts something in my bin, that's not my fault. You lot still should be sorting it out at that end. I said, so get me ruddy bin emptied. Well, guess what? My bin gets emptied every time now. No messing about.
Good man.
So I'm being, look, you need this money, that's fine, no problem. When Judgment Day comes, it's going to be a question of, right, councillors, you said you need this money for this. And the councillors are all going to say the same thing. It's not us, it's the management. Who tells the management what to do?
Yeah.
The councillors, all the councillors have done, and I don't know if this is every city, but it's definitely Hull. All the councillors have done is given all their powers to the managers, and basically said, "You sort it all out. We don't want to do that. We don't want to work. We just want to have nice holidays to Somalia and nice time and have our meals at here, and you lot can pay for it all. And when I go to Lloyd's in Hull Town Centre, you can pay for my bill. That's what we want. We don't want to do the work bit where we have to work out how many people we need. We'll leave that to our managers." I'll tell you what, managers, they desperately need booting out, and every bit of money they've taken out of Hull City Council should get every single money off them and said, "Stuff you haven't done your flipping jobs. All you've done is ripped everybody off." And that's all they're doing, conning everybody.
And the alarming thing is that there might not be any absolute concrete proof, but nobody's answering your questions, even if you put in an FOI. They just tell you it's worded incorrectly.
Well, that's a couple of the excuses I've had. One excuse was, what was the classic one? Well, it was, what's that word when it's government, when it's like government and it's not illegal, it's sort of like we're doing this for your protection type thing.
Bloody
hell.
I don't know, I'm scratching my head as much as you've got.
Would that be national security, Colin?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Seriously.
It's a national security issue.
Yeah. Don't ask about this money again, because it's national security. I'm like, what are you lot spending? 800 million? And hey, don't forget, this isn't just Hull City Council. This is your council where you live.
Yeah.
They get £400 million from every resident of Hull. Collectively, we council tax and all the other taxes that they can try squeezing out of us, everything, the parking charges, the full works, all works out to roughly about £400 million. And then they get another 400 million, and this is every single council. They get another to match that amount that they get, and that's what they get to spend every year in your respective areas. It's just ludicrous that these people can't even count, because you've got 6 counters taking 4 hours to count less than 6,000 votes. It's just, right. Why are you employed? On unreal, totally. I keep saying it. You can't make this up. You honestly can't make this up, and you just. Alice through the looking glass is just one weird thing, the way I think of it.
Yeah, well, I've just learnt a new piece of information from Doc Rocky in the chat room tonight. He was saying about Powys Council, but he's saying they've now got a corporate side so they can regulate estate agents nationwide. And he's actually put a link to an article in The Guardian that the regulation of UK estate agents has handed over to Powys County Council. Now, what on God's green earth is that all about?
I ain't got the foggiest.
Yeah, but why do councils need a corporate side? They're supposed to be there to serve people, which they're clearly not doing. This corporate side is just obvious a way of stealing, isn't it?
Well, it's like your big six energy companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your big six. You always see it on telly, don't you? You switch now, switch tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
For the past year, I've been chatting. For the past 2 years, I've been with British Gas. So I did my year's contract, that you do.
Uh-huh.
So my second year, I thought, right, what I'm going to do is make British Gas pay me the cheapest tariff going.
Mm-hmm.
I am now knocking on the doors of the Ombudsman. Because British Gas say, no, we can't give you the cheapest tariff. All we can give you is our cheapest tariff. Now, I have come to the conclusion, and I don't know if it's me or if I'm being too clever for myself, but I've come to the conclusion that I've done a year's contract, so that year's contract is renegotiable.
Yep.
Now, my renegotiable was putting in my rates of, if I had to get in touch with you, I'll charge you £50 a letter, £50 an email, £25 a phone call, etc., etc. British Gas won't accept my charges. British Gas sent another company to my house to get me to swap over and save £300 a year. So I said to this company, right, just write down them tariffs that you're talking about. So I wrote them down. So as soon as he left, I got straight on the phone to British Gas and said, right, I just had a guy here saying that he can save me £300 a year if I join them. Why are you match funding this? Why are you matching it? Oh, we're not allowed to. What do you mean you're not allowed to? You can start matching the cheapest tariff. So I'm backdating now. And like I say, I'm on the just on the throes with the Ombudsman of why British Gas will not honour that they all want you to leave, so you start a new contract again.
Yeah.
So you're forever in the loop of the contract situation.
Well, contract. Is it actually a contract,
No,
Colin?
is it?
It's an agreement.
It's an agreement, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the contract requires a wet
actually
signature from both parties, and you're never going to get a signature of British Gas on any contract, are you?
No, because you can't. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. But, like I said, they have basically turned around to me and said, you know, we know you've got a problem. No, I ain't got the problem. You've got the problem because I want you to supply me with the cheapest gas and electric. I'm not going to leave. So now I'm backdating not only the cheapest gas and electric, but also putting on my charges. Guess what? I'm not allowed to do that.
Colin, just last week I know we're getting a bit off subject of Hull City Council, but just with the gas and electric, I've had EDF chasing me for £7.
Yeah.
So I'm sick of this. I was getting text messages, I was getting emails, I was getting phone calls, and they even started withholding the number when I recognised. So they started withholding, and I had four in one day. So I got home from work that night, and I thought, I'm just going to ring these buggers. So I rang them, and I said, hello, I'm ringing you to tell you that I no longer consent for anybody from or on behalf of your company to get in touch with me in any other way other than by written letter posted through my letterbox.
Yeah.
If you do, I'm going to charge you £500 a go because you're now harassing me. for £7.
Yeah. I've got one better.
And basically, this went on. So this woman said, right, okay. She says, well, it might take a while for you to come off the system. And I said, right, we live in an electronic age. You've got 24 hours. And I looked at the clock, and I said, so as of 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, you can no longer contact me other than by mail delivered through my letterbox. No phone calls, no email, no nothing. And then this really polite lady at the end, she said, right, so have we done everything you've asked us to then, Mr. Hardy? And I said, yeah, it seems so, yeah, as long as you take heed of what I've said. And she said, just before you go, can I just check some details with you? I said, well, what are they? She says, can I just check that we've got the right email and phone number for you? And I sort of sat there for a minute with my mouth open. Has she not listened to the last 3 minutes conversation?
No, they don't.
And I said, are you having a laugh? Are you really serious? She says, well, what do you mean we've got to ask you? I said, I've just spent the last few minutes telling you that I'm sick of your harassment, and if you do anything other than write to me, I'm going to charge you £500, and you want to just check you've got the right mobile number and email address for me. And then you know what she said? She went, well, do you want to add a landline number? And I said, you know, a minute ago you asked me if you'd done everything right. The answer is no. So now you need to escalate this to a manager. Yeah. Anyway, this manager came on, and she was gobsmacked. She says, well, it is in the script. I went, script? Yeah. If I wanted to read a script, I'd have gone on your website.
And that's what all these buggers live by.
It's just a script.
It is.
And that is it. There's no... Yeah. They just train the humanity out of anybody.
Well, no,
it's companies.
It's not a case of that, because at the end of the day, people still know right from wrong. People still know right from wrong, and this is what I always tell everybody. Well, you know right from wrong.
Yeah.
I know right from wrong. So why are you doing this? They don't like this because you're hitting them with common sense.
Yes.
And they hate that. They hate it. I have now got British Gas to the Ombudsman, getting them taken to the Ombudsman. I've paid my gas bill. I paid my electric bill. I've never not paid it. So I can now do a new agreement. They don't want to accept it, but why shouldn't they accept it is the question, isn't it?
I think everything's set up so that, if you're a new customer...
Yeah, we give you all these bonuses.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
When I started looking into running businesses and things like that years ago, one of the most important things to me was about retaining existing customers.
Yeah.
Because it costs you far more to get a new customer than it does to keep an existing customer happy.
Plus, you know they'll come back.
Exactly. But I've noticed particularly in the last decade, it seems people really don't give a flying fuck about keeping hold of the customers they've got. All they want is new customers. Now, I think there's got to be a reason for that. And I'm starting to suspect, is that reason access to the SSKV Trust or something similar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
Of course it is. At the end of the day, people act stupid, and this is the problem.
Yeah.
These people in our councils and that lot, they're all the same as you and I.
Mm-hmm.
They're exactly the same as us, except they've been given a job. But somewhere in that job, somehow, it gets to be, don't worry about that, I'll sort that out for you, mate.
Yeah.
It's all mates, rates, and all shit like that, and all stuff like that, sorry. So I'll sort that out for you. Don't you worry about that mess up, I'll sort that out for you. And in the councils, with your gas, your electric, your water, everything. Well, not with water, but with gas, your electric, your phone, they're all the same. Start a new contract. You start a new contract, you'll save this amount. Well, if, like, I turn around and email them back, I want them to email me. I want them to ring me. Because as soon as they ring me, I'm saying, right, I'm sending you an email now, giving you my charges. They can turn around and say, we are accepting your charges. But if that ever does go to court, I've given them every opportunity to be upfront. I've given them every opportunity to say, well, no, he's done this and he's never paid his... No, I've paid my bills. Always paid my bills. That's how my mum's brought me up. Pay your bills. Yeah. So I'm banging it on this new contract. I don't want a new contract. I'm sticking with the same contracts. And at the end of the day, you should still offer me the cheapest tariff out there. They hate it. They absolutely detest it. But it's some of that I'm just trying out. Same with the councils. Same with standing as election. It's got to the stage of seeing all these keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
Them. Seeing them, hearing them, listening to them, and thinking, well, I'm going to actually do something about it. I'm going to actually make a ruckus. When I first come into politics, the guy in UKIP said to me, you've got to make a name for yourself. Well, that's stuck.
I think you did that, Colin.
I made sure I made a name for myself. I made sure that everyone knew who Colin Worrall was. And when I was stood outside Guildhall one night, on one of the election nights, that Colin Angus walks by, and someone said, oh, that's that Colin Worrall there. And he said, I know who he is. I don't give a rat's ass about who he is. I don't even know him, but I don't give a rat's ass about him. Mm-hmm. I'm more interested in why he's so corrupt that he thinks it's okay to fiddle books, to have staff on there that state, well, we're honest, we're reliable, we're fair. You're not. Not one of them are. As I've proved. 110%. The full system is broken. Not just that, our NHS is broken. My doctors is a total. I've been kicked off one doctor's. That's one I forgot to tell you. Yeah, I got kicked off of doctor's for me indigestion tablets.
What?
Yeah. It was Nexium. And Nexium seemed to work with me. Well, the doctor says, right, I want you to try these tablets. Yeah, no problem, tried them. Didn't work. So it goes back. Right, look, doc, them tablets didn't work. Can I go back onto Nexium? So gives me another prescription. Just yesed me, basically. Give me another prescription. Walks out the door, straight to the chemist. Are these Nexium? No. What do you mean no? No, they're not Nexium. The same ones that you've been on. Well, they don't work. So I go straight back to my doctor. Knocks on the door. Yes. Opens the door. Walks in. These are Nexium. These are no good to me. My doctor then, 2 days later, got a letter through the door saying you was verbally abusive to the doctor, blah, 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 blah. We are now kicking you off the panel.
Wow.
So I got kicked off the panel for Nexium. And I'm like, sat there while they're Googling my symptoms, and I'm like, you're on 120 grand a year to Google my symptoms. Yeah. That is not what a doctor's about.
Yeah.
The full system, every system we've got is broken. And there's a lot of money getting filtered off here, there and everywhere. I mean, we all know about John Patson. We all know what he's gone through. Peter Bloomfield, again, he's another one that's done his utmost to inform everybody and expose the rot that we have, that we're living with, that we're actually providing their lifestyle. Sean Maguire, the Irish radio host, and Joe Dulcie, Southern Ireland, they're going through the mill now with their courts. Well, I've just been through court with this year's injunction, private injunction. And they're going through, and I'm looking at it thinking, crikey, why ain't any of this on any news? Why ain't, people talking about this?
Because nobody wants anybody else to know.
No, they think everyone is thick. the thing, Facebook is the worst thing that's happened to the authority, and the authority's system, and the NHS system, and the police system, and the court system. Facebook is the worst thing that's happened to the full lot of them, because that many people now are talking, and that's what people have got to start doing. Asking questions. That's all you've got to do. You ask a question, you're messing up their lifestyle. And that's what it's all about. That's all we are, is their lifestyle. We are just a money-making part. And the full lot, at one point, they should have hung the lot. But that upset a few too many people when they thought that I was going to get in. When they thought I was actually going to get voted in, they didn't like the look of somebody saying, "Well, you corrupt shites, you're going to be in prison. I'm going to bring the police into you. I'm going to." As they did it, well, we'll make sure you don't get in, sunshine. And they have done. But the wife, she's begged me loads of times, look, just let it go. And I'm like, look, love, I don't mind losing at anything. If I lose fair and square, I'm happy. I've done my best. I can't do any more. I've done my best for my area, so I'm happy. I said, but to get fiddled out of something, I said, that just grates on me. It just grates and grates and grates on me. Hey, you. Are you both awake? Where are you?
Was that the MP calling you?
Sorry, I doubt it, because then he's breaking his own injunction.
Yeah.
It might be all city
Colin,
council.
when can we next expect to see Colin hopefully with his face actually showing on his posters this time, and a rosette with "Vote for Colin Worrall"?
Well, I'll show you one. I'll show you one that I did 2, 3, 4 years ago. UKIP. Well, I've still got some memorabilia from me standing days. And
Can I just say that this showing us one, Colin, works really good on the radio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I forgot.
It works great. I mean, you can by all means show me and Andy, but
yeah, I'll actually put it on the page.
Oh, nice.
My put it in
leaflet.
the chat box. Yeah, that'd be good.
What I was going to do for my area, what I wanted my area to happen to it, and I'd say, without being head swelling, 70% of the people that voted for me. I absolutely annihilated them, and the only way they could win was fiddle. And that just makes me puke. Don't get me wrong, I sleep well on the night. I don't know how these people do, because if I was them, what I know and what they know, I don't think I could sleep on a night.
I think it all comes down to morals, and what you tend to find is we hear this more and more and more on Raconteurs News, Raconteurs 2, like we did last night. And that's... when you're speaking to somebody like yourself, Colin, who's just an everyday guy who just wants to know the answer to a simple question, and you just get trodden all over.
Yeah,
you just
literally.
Absolutely get trodden all over.
Yeah, because you're a little man, you're on your own. They think, well, it's nothing. They think, oh, it's now. It doesn't matter. The council, if you go into a city council and ask about Colin Worrall, they say, oh, he's a lunatic, him. I've had people at my house checking my meters, in brackets again, and one of them actually turned around and said, you're not a lunatic at all, you, are you? You're not a druggie, are you? No, why? Is that what you expected? And I'm so like, you're not here to check me meter, you're here to check me out.
Yeah.
And I'm so like, honest, mate, look, this is what I need to do. And, we need to move into solar panels. We need to move into that wind farms and shit like that. We need to, but that upsets the big six. Don't forget, all the councils have a stake in the gas, electric and everything as well, because you aren't allowed to come off grid without the council's permission.
Yeah.
So they've got a big stake in how much money they're receiving from the gas and electric that we have to pay for, that they can just put in willy-nilly.
I've heard all sorts of stories where people have spent a fortune putting solar panels on the roof, thinking that, they're going to use it, and then if there's any left over, it goes into the grid.
Yeah.
And what they've found is the deal they've actually signed up for means that they get next to nothing for everything that they generate, but they've got to buy everything at full price off the lecky company.
Yeah.
Who, at the end of the day, are only administrating an account. They're not actually providing anything. They're just administrating an account.
Yeah. When I was trying to get solar panels for my house, the council said no, because I'm a resident. I'm a tenant. I'm not a mortgage owner or anything like that. So I said, look, I want solar panels on my house. I said, if it was down to me, I'd carpet every house with solar panels. I said, because at the end of the day, why shouldn't we have free electric? So they come back, no, we can't do that. Because I turned round and said that in the meantime, well, once I get my solar panels fixed, I'll start producing my charges. What do you mean? Well, as soon as I have my solar panels fixed, after the time frame of the money's paid, then I'm going to be putting in my charges. And my charges are going to go up 3% every year. Guess who hasn't got solar panels and is not allowed to put them in?
Yeah. so you're banned from solar panel companies as well now?
Well, yeah, can't have many with them being a tenant. You're not allowed to have any solar panels when you're a tenant.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Isn't it just? It's so much. There's just so much. They're exposing themselves of how much money they're actually going to lose by the things they do and the things they say. And things like solar panels and wind farms. I've turned around and said, Ray, these wind farms that's coming out of Hull. I said, I want the first one named as Brand Zone 1. Because per wind farm, apparently, I might be a tad off on this, per wind, just the one wind, not the farm, the actual one.
One generator,
Windmill, generator, whatever they want to call it. That produces enough electric for 4,000 houses. Now then, start adding up how many wind, not only farms, but how many's in the farm. You get about 50 in a farm, or 20 to 50, I think. Something roughly about that area. Well, there's only 40,000, well, no, I'm wrong there. There's 400,000 people in Hull. So if you divided that by 3, roughly, to say 3 people living in a house. I know there's some more, some less, whichever. Yeah. How many is that?
Andy's the one with the calculator, is it?
Andy, 450,000 divided by 3.
About 130,000.
So there's 130,000 houses in Hull. Now, per wind farm, you get 20 to, I don't know exactly how many. I thought it was 50, but I've been told that many different figures now. I've just lost count. But if, let's say 25 windmills per wind farm. 25 divided by 4,000. Andy?
Sorry, 20?
25.
Yeah.
Multiplied by 4,000.
Oh, that's easy. That's 100,000.
100,000.
How many?
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000.
So we're only 50,000 houses short of Hull running electric free by one wind farm. How many wind farms have we got around Britain and in England? There's got to be about 150 of the bloody things now.
Well, you can't drive anywhere without coming across them.
Exactly.
They're scarring the landscape all over, yeah.
Yeah, and trust me, I'd have them dotted everywhere, mate. I'd have one on my house. I'd have one in my garden. I would. I'd have one at the end of my street. Because if you can get, and I might be wrong with the figures, you know what I mean? But from what I've been told, these figures, if you can get 4,000 houses from one windmill that gives Bransholm, where I live, my area that I stood for, that means that would pay for them all to have electric.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd have them everywhere, mate. But then that means the council lose their subsidies. They don't want to do that.
You see, your theory is great. The problem with it is what they'll do is that electricity will get shifted into the grid.
Yeah.
And then everybody who's providing this with their council tax money, etc., will have to then buy it back at full rate.
Yeah.
Rather than it just going to the people.
Yeah, that's how corrupt they are.
Yeah,
but where's that money going to then? That's the next question. You see, it's all right them doing that, but then you come into the next question is, okay, fair enough. These people are getting the electric for free. We're providing it to the grid, and then the grid's giving it back to us. A bit weird. But, you know, shit happens. Now then, where's that money going to then? So all of a sudden, not just 320 million's gone missing, you're talking billions. And billions is going God knows where. And I'm not smart enough to work out how it is. I'm too old to think about where it's going. It just riles me up when I think these people in our council that are our friends, our neighbours, our relatives as well, they're actually conning each and every one of us. Yeah. And it's disgraceful. They're actually, when they're going to work smiling, they're enjoying their work. It's not 20, 30 years ago when Hull City Council employed, I think it was 35,000 people.
Yeah.
Again, I might be shite on the numbers. So in 20 years, they've whittled that down to less than 10,000 people now, or 15,000 people working for Hull City Council. Where's all the money gone? Where's the wages gone from them 30,000 people that used to work for Hull that don't work anymore?
Well, what they often do, Colin, they often outsource to private companies. And when you I mean, I always thought that if you get rid of the middleman, you get rid of cost.
Yeah. But
it seems that what the local authorities like to do is put a middleman in place.
Well, they have done in Hull.
Always makes me think, hang on a minute, who's this middleman? And who actually owns this middleman? And who's making money out of this middleman?
Well, it goes like this. KWL in Hull. Now, that is outsourced. All the joiners, all the electricians, that used to work for Hull City Council, or work for KWL now in Hull. That is run by Hull City Council. That was supposed to be sold off, and because they didn't want to have pensions and X amount on the Hull City Hull public's backs, they said, well, we'll make this firm up and we'll call it KWL, and everyone can go work for them, and then they can do it privately and they can earn the money.
So no pensions anymore.
No pensions, no wages, no nothing, less staff. But yet we still pay out the same money.
Yeah.
But we're still paying out the same money. So where's that money going? Again, it just starts getting into more and more and more. About 10, 12 years ago, I got approached by a councillor on North Bransholm, and she said, right, I've got an idea. Said, how would you like to do a youth club for a wagon? We'll turn a wagon into and we'll make it for a youth club for the area.
Right. Great idea.
I was like, bang mate, yeah, straight in. I will be on that. So I was the manager of what was called the Buddies, which was you drove around all, parked up for the night in an area, the kids was allowed on, there was a pool table, there was kids, everything for kids to do. Everything. football stuff we had everything. You know, it was a sports-orientated thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now that, unfortunately, my brother decided to go out with this certain lady, the boss.
Oh.
And I was fuming with him. I was like, you prat, because I knew what was going to happen.
Judas.
Yes, big time. I got well shafted. They made sure that they promised me that they'd sort out my pension. They promised me that they'd sort out everything. Well, getting towards the end of my time there, after a couple of years, this is how I actually made me back worse. There was a disabled guy that wanted to come on the unit. Now, you know, same age as, not as old as me, but, you know, a disabled guy. So, excellent idea. You know, the more we can teach these kids, these people are normal, we're normal, everyone's the same.
Yep.
You know, he'd done something naughty, got caught, so it was basically a court thing.
Yep.
So he'd done his time and all that stuff. So, yeah, come on, mate. Yeah, come to the unit on a night. Well, I'd picked this guy out of his chair because we had no facilities to get him up into the wagon. I basically lifted him up, and he was a good 17, 18 stone-ish. 16, 17 stone.
Good God.
So I picked him up, on we goes, gets him on. No problems. Come the end of the night, obviously kick the kids off, go home now, you know, it's like 9 o'clock on a night, you know. So basically it was to keep the antisocial behaviour down, and it worked a bloody treat.
Brilliant, Colin.
Bringing the guy down off the stairs, and that's when bang, my back goes as well. So that was the second part of me back getting shafted up doing a job. That was basically after that, I really declined. But stuff like that, where I've seen proof of what councillors can do, gives me the ideas of why I want to start a boxing club up on Bransham. So that was one of my aims. Get a boxing club started up on Bransham. It is like knitting fog.
Absolutely.
You can't do it.
Colin, it's been brilliant talking to you tonight. Unfortunately, we're running out of time because we've got a great show lined up after. From 10 till 11 tonight, we've got the happy hour. I can hear them warming up in the next room. It's not Dr. Tamara and Tina. And instead of the usual health topics they're covering, I think today they're having a bit of a birthday special because both the ladies have suddenly discovered they were only got birthdays 3 days apart. So,
and 21 again.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up with Colin, can I ask Colin one quick question?
Sure, mate.
When can the people of Hull vote for Colin Worrall?
Every time I stand.
And when are you standing?
I stand every time now, mate. Every time I stand.
Brilliant, Colin. Well, we're going to have to get you back on the show again soon. But please think about having your own show because all the other people in the chat room seem to really be up for it, and we can sort that out. You're the man with the words. We can get them out there. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, Colin. It's been absolutely educational. We'll be back next Tuesday with Diane Jessie Miller. I know that's one of Jason's favourites, so we're looking forward to speaking to her again, delving into the world of independent movies. Like I say, the girls will be up next, and then we've got Doc Rock on Thursday. We've got Keno's Tunes at 7 o'clock Friday, followed by Freeman Jack with the Psychonautilus, 9 till 11. And then Cockney Winker Tunes from Tony Hurst at 11 o'clock, taking us through into the weekend, Saturday morning, 1 or 2 o'clock, whenever he decides to call it a night. So that's the week so far. Ade will be back with you Monday night at 7 o'clock with Raconteurs 2 and having a discussion about money with Freeman Jack and Keno this week.
We've got a very interesting money special, so you want to listen to that one, folks. 3 different people with completely different views of money, and we should have a lot of fun on Monday night.
Brilliant. We'd better make way for the girls then. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Colin, and good night.
Yeah,
Good night.
thanks a lot for letting me get a word in.
You're welcome, mate.